Research Institute website. Gerald Celente, shifting gears now purely into the economy. And, of course, we know the stage terror and the new wars are about smoke screening that and getting us to rally around the New World Order flag. What else do you see economically coming up in 2010 into 2011?
Crash of 2010. The markets collapsed in March 9th, 2009. The only thing that's happened is the world governments, the central bankers, have flooded the world with money to keep propping up the failing banks and brokerage firms to the tune of about $6 trillion, roughly. But let's look at the real numbers and let's look what's really going on. Iceland, Greece, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Ukraine, Ireland, Spain, Portugal, U.S., UK, one after another, countries are going under, they're going bankrupt, and they're ready to fail.
And meanwhile, our mainstream media is telling us everything's wonderful, while the big brokerage firms are quietly telling their wealthy investors, hey, you better get ready for a possible total collapse. Now, when are you saying in 2010? Because you actually said 2009. When are you saying you're looking for another implosion?
No, what I meant to say is in 2009, the markets collapsed, but they propped them up. In 2010, there's not going to be any more props. The financial props are gone. So now that's why we're looking for the collapse to happen. The commercial real estate market, bye-bye Dubai, we saw it happen. Oh, it's okay, nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong. That's what they tried to tell us. That's the canary in the commercial real estate mine shaft. We're going to start seeing more and more commercial failures, and they're going to dwarf the subprime problem. There's a story worth reading in today's New York Times. Actually, it's an op-ed piece from a previous story. It's about the Goldman Sachs gang. They have, they always tell us what the most brilliant minds. We need to pay a lot of money to get the most brilliant minds in finance. Yeah, the most brilliant minds so they could pull off the most brilliant criminal schemes possible. Here's what they've done. You can't make this stuff up, but they did. They call it a synthetic collateralized debt obligation. A synthetic collateralized debt obligation? What does that mean? Oh, what it means is you invest with us and you're going to be guaranteed to get great returns. So they sucker you in, the Goldman Sachs gang, for you to invest with them. And meanwhile, they're shorting the position, knowing that it's going to fail. It's in black and white.
And again, you and many of other great guests we had said this a year ago. Now it's come out in the 5-part series McClatchy newspapers that Goldman Sachs engineered this whole thing to destroy their competition. Internally, they were betting against housing while telling all their sucker customers to invest in it.
That's right. It would be like you taking out an insurance policy with me, giving me the money, and then me killing you and then collecting on the policy. That's what they're doing. That's what these great minds that we have to pay all this money to bail them out and to keep them like we're doing with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac on Christmas Eve.
And, of course, it's not really just a bailout. They made money on the way up. This is just their profit on the way down. Go ahead.
Well, the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac that they did on Christmas Eve. Now the government has guaranteed them unlimited funds to keep the housing scam going. 9 out of 10 mortgages are backed by the government. And what did they do? They gave the CEOs of these companies, what, a $6 million salary? I mean, come on. But they do it on Christmas Eve when nobody's watching. So what we're looking for in 2010 is the collapse. And by the way, when we're looking at the collapse of 2010, we're also looking at the possible breakup of the European Monetary Union. So, for example, I spoke about Greece and Portugal and Ireland and Spain. Greece, for example, their budget deficit is 13% greater than their GDP. Under the Economic Monetary Union regulations, it can't exceed 3%. We're going to see one country after another unable to meet that fake number.
Which is what the EU was meant to do. Stay there, Gerald Celente. We'll be right back.